Hello guys from a kind of cold Kyiv. I feel like winter is starting. But right now I'm going to go into this warm cafe. I'm going to be meeting someone that I've been following on Twitter for over a year now. There's Victoria, and it's always hard to know, it's always hard to tell if these are real people or not because you only see them online. But I'm going to go find out. So let's go meet Victoria from Ukraine. I think this might be her now. Victoria? Nice to meet you. Well, hi Victoria.
Hi.
It's been fun. we've been chatting for half an hour. It turns out she really is a real girl. So we have a lot of questions, but let's actually go outside and go for a little walk and talk. Just make it work.
Actually, it seems like drizzling. So...
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't rain.
No, wait.
So we were just talking about winter wear. I'm finally wearing a proper jacket because it gets so cold here. But are you born in Kyiv?
Yes.
So you're used to it.
Yes.
And were you here last winter during the blackouts?
Yes.
How was that?
It was rough because we didn't have proper heating and we didn't have electricity and it was cold and we couldn't use like electric heaters or something because
There's
they
no
had
electricity?
they had to save electricity when we had it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, because even when it was on, they didn't want you wasting electricity. So
And there were power limits.
yeah.
Sometimes I had electricity, but I couldn't use my microwave or stove or something. There were limits. Even my hair dryer, like it requires more than 1,000 watts, and just it didn't work.
Yeah, actually, so my fridge in Kharkiv, it broke because I think it's called a brownout where there's not enough power, and things turn on and off, and then they just get damaged.
Yeah.
And actually today, right now, I have no water in my house at all. No hot water, no cold water, nothing. Well, we'll see. I have a feeling it's going to be a hard winter.
I think if we survived that winter, we will survive this one.
Yeah, because I think last winter was the hardest one because it was the first time something like this has ever happened.
People weren't ready.
Yeah.
Now we are prepared for probably everything.
Well, let's hope so. Speaking of preparations, do you remember before February 24th, like let's say a few months early, people started to warn Ukraine that Russia was going to attack? Did you believe that was going to happen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I actually expected it to happen. So when we woke up to explosions, I knew what was happening.
Wow.
It was unprovoked. But this is what Russian President Vladimir Putin unleashed on Ukraine as the sun came up this morning.
And did you prepare for it in any way?
No, but I didn't expect it to last that long.
Okay.
I thought they will try to capture Kyiv, and when they fail, maybe in a few months they will just retreat and say like, "Oh, we didn't mean to," or something or we did everything that we wanted, and it actually gets a bit cold here.
Yeah, let's walk a little bit.
When I'm not moving. So I was saying that Putin announced there would be no mobilization, and there were just a bunch of people who tried to attack us, and he explained that nobody else will be mobilized. So it's just a special operation, it's not war, and we didn't expect him to slaughter his people in those amounts like he decided to. So
because this technically it's still a special operation, even though it's been 2 years now, and over 500,000 people have died, mostly on the Russian side. Like it's crazy that he still doesn't consider it a war.
Actually, a lot of propagandists and a lot of people start calling it war.
Yeah.
Even from Putin's circle, when Putin said that Minsk agreements ceased to exist, and I knew that it was pretext to attack.
But he says it needs to exist?
Ceased.
Ceased, okay.
Ceased.
So he canceled the Minsk agreements. which
yeah,
was basically
he
the
knew
ceasefire.
that he actually wanted to attack more,
Okay.
and they started attacking cities on February 22nd in
Yes.
Donbass, and on February 24th they were in Mariupol and in our cities.
Yeah, speaking of which, it says Mariupol here
Yeah.
on the board. Our Nasha Purovdi.
Donetsk Brigade, TRO, 109th National Police,
Yeah.
Azov, of course. Just
So,
counted everyone who was defending Mariupol, not just Azov.
yeah.
There were a lot of people, and so they are listed.
Okay.
This
It's
is
sad.
here.
Like, I'm sorry, it's so cold. I wish I
was
could
like-
give you something.
I'm okay with cold, and then I'm freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, today's the first day of winter, I feel. Like, I feel like autumn is over officially.
I had the same feeling in September, and then it just got warm.
Yeah.
I was in my wool coats and even thought about wearing hats and stuff. And then it just got warm.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know what to expect. Maybe it will get warmer, but I saw the forecast and
It's supposed to snow in a few days, so I don't think it's going to get warmer.
yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can find another warm place to hide. I don't want you dying during our interview. So,
It just gets windy, and when it's windy, wind is just the worst.
yeah. So, Victoria, so you live in Obolon, which is technically still Kyiv City.
It's maybe 15 minutes by car to get to the city center. If there are no jams or...
Yeah. I remember the very first day of the invasion on February 24th, I was at Maidan, and I had heard that a Russian tank had entered the city center. And we were like, oh my God, where is it? And everybody said it's in Obolon. And they were you were cut off. Like the metro stopped even stopping in Obolon.
Yeah, there were a lot of roadblocks every few meters, and even the Russian air forces landed near to Pusha.
Okay.
It was on the second day of the full-scale invasion, and I saw it through my window. So it was
You
next.
saw the tank out of your
Yes.
window, your bedroom or your kitchen?
kitchen, but it's actually it's one side. So
Wow.
yeah.
Russian forces have reached an area just north of Ukraine's capital city, Kyiv, as they continue their advance into the country. This is video from social media today appearing to show Russian armoured vehicles driving through the residential district of Obolon to the north of the city centre. That area is just 9 kilometres, that's 5.5 miles north of Kyiv's parliament, the presidential office and the city centre.
And it was scary because I saw a lot of people in military uniform, and I couldn't know if they were our people or Russians. And I understand how confusing it was for people under occupation.
Yes.
They couldn't understand what was going on. There was no way to know that. They could just hear what they said.
Yes. But
That's why
it's
it
also
was
confusing.
so easy. It was so easy to fool people like Russians did it. Because you can't know. You see the military uniform, and they could even steal our uniform. They could just listen, watch, and I saw a helicopter right next to my window, and it was so close. Like I look out of the window, and helicopter is right there.
Wow. A Russian helicopter was out your window. Let's go in here and get warm real quick.
I have no idea. I think it was our helicopter, but they were flying low, and I never knew whose helicopter it was. Yeah.
Coffee?
Tea sounds good.
Будь ласка, великий чай. Which one you want?
Зелений, будь ласка.
Дякую. Okay, so now that we're warm, actually, this place is really popular with journalists. So
I've never been there.
Yeah? I would never stay here because it's like $400 a night. But it is a nice place to sit and have
I've
some
never
tea.
stayed in any Kyiv hotels, so.
Yeah. You know, the strange thing about the hotels in Kyiv is you either get some really old Soviet style ones that are, you know, pretty, like, relatively cheap, or you get these overpriced international brands like this, the Marriott, Hyatt, or Hilton,
Yeah, you
or
can
Fairmont.
choose something like Ibis. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, okay. And so are you born and raised in Kyiv?
Yes.
And why did you decide to stay during the war? Like, I would think that...
Because living isn't that easy. At first, I thought that it's too early to leave. Because a lot of people were leaving at the same time. And it was crazy, it was chaotic. And then when we got isolated because of that tank, because of Russian air forces, I realized it was too late already to leave. And there were a lot of missiles coming from Irpin, and there was one moment when I thought about going to Lviv, and then my friend asked, "Are you going?" And I packed, I was ready, and at the last second I said that I'm staying. And she asked me why, and I said that I have a feeling that you can't escape. You can't hide in Ukraine, because they will start shelling other cities, not just Kyiv. And many people thought that Kyiv was their main goal, or Kharkiv, and they won't shell Lviv or other places. And Lviv was overcrowded. My friends told how they slept on the stairs because all the apartments were taken, and a lot of people just had to get to Lviv to go to Warsaw after, and to other cities. We had to go with our stuff and just find a place there. So you are going, you don't know where you go. And I can do that.
Yeah. Actually, that makes a good point, because a lot of people, they ask, or they comment saying, you know, these cities that are under either under Russian occupation or so close to the front, why don't people just leave?
A lot of people died when they tried to escape. So, and I often had the thought that if they stayed, they had more chances to survive.
Even though Kyiv was very close to being overrun,
He was protected.
it was really well protected.
I trusted our government. I trusted they can protect. Because everyone said that they will destroy Kyiv because of their goal was either to occupy or destroy, and they are doing that with other cities. But I just trusted that Kyiv is a fortress. And I saw how people from Irpin, from Bucha, went here, not to other places. They evacuated here. And I knew that it was stupid to run from Kyiv when it's actually more safe here. But there were moments when I was waking up and I was checking the news and to see what district they hit. Every single day they hit a district. And there was like a really, you can't really know, but I knew that I just won't be able to escape it. And I knew that I don't want to leave my country because it feels like I'm a traitor.
So actually, this is a good time to ask one of the questions that people on it was either from my Twitter or my YouTube. When I said I was going to interview you, people ask questions. So women are allowed to leave, so you can go. You can go to Europe, you can go somewhere safe.
If you can leave, it doesn't mean that you should leave. Because everyone can't leave and people need help. And when you are here, you can help. And our people were crazy united. I expected it to be chaos, like chaotic when it all started, and people had access to weapons. And I was afraid of that.
Yeah, it was.
But nothing happened. Like nothing bad happened, because everyone was focused on defending their country. They didn't think about robbing someone or killing someone. There were it didn't increase. Like,
Yeah.
Now, I want you to imagine you're living in a metropolitan city like Kyiv. You walk the streets with friends, you meet up for coffee, you peruse an outdoor market. You are living a completely normal life in an imperfect but Western democratic country. And then suddenly all that normal is just gone in what feels like an instant. Suddenly, your country is under attack by your neighboring country because their megalomaniac leader is nursing his unhinged personal nostalgia for a long-forgotten despotic regime that your country liberated itself from. And you are caught in the middle. What do?
We are in a queue where people are waiting to get their weapons to fight the Russian invaders. There is no reason to believe that they're going to stop anytime soon, and their objective clearly, at least to me, seems to be the occupation of my entire country and the destruction of everything that I love. I'm just a regular civilian. I have basically nothing to do with war or any other thing like it. And I wouldn't really want to participate in anything like this, but I don't really have any choice because this is my home.
Мотивація проста. Це краще, ніж сидіти вдома і чекати, поки до тебе щось прилетить. І хто як не ми.
I think in a lot of other countries, if you gave access, basically free access to automatic weapons, saying like everybody take one and defend the country, there would be a lot of rival gangs or things happening, but
it didn't happen here.
And
it didn't happen. And I realized how great our people were.
Yeah.
How united can we be? And the other moment when we didn't have electricity, people just invited strangers, people they didn't know. They invited to come to their home, to cook something, to eat something, to have tea, because it was cold. Yeah, everyone tried to help, and nobody thought that they will rob me, or they will kill me, or they will steal something. Nobody thought about that. They tried to help, and it's what I love about our people, and I know that we can't go, because if we all go, businesses will stop working, and even by spending our money here, we support our economy and local businesses, and they can survive, and other people can survive, because we can't just go and let those people die and go bankrupt, and they stay here, they donate money.
So yeah, we're still under martial law now, and actually one of the questions was, how do Ukrainians feel about there not being a presidential election during the war?
It's actually written in our constitution. It would be wrong if we just decided to change our constitution or just to break it during the war. It's wrong. It will mean that our main law that just doesn't exist. It's fiction. So it's actually good that we didn't have elections, because Russians would have tried to interfere and to maybe even kill people, like mass shooting or something. They can do anything, and it's actually dangerous.
Пройшли вибори, чи це нам зараз потрібно під час?
Я думаю, що зараз цього не потрібно і немає того кандидата, хто би міг замінити сьогодні нашого президента.
А ви б хотіли, щоб в Україні пройшли вибори? Чи вони нам зараз потрібні в час війни?
Я думаю, ні.
Ну, мабуть, витрачати стільки коштів на вибори я не бачу сенсу.
Пройшли вибори, чи вони нам зараз потрібні під час війни?
Ні, поки не потрібно.
А чому?
Тому що зараз якраз, як я вважаю, при владі той, хто повинен бути, і на цей час це буде недоцільно міняти.
С войны, может быть, під час войны оно только может осложнить все процессы. Лучше не делать этого.
Вважаю, що вони зараз нам не потрібні.
А чому на вашу думку?
Тому що зараз не повод для цього всього.
I mean, I don't know how you feel personally, but out of all the Ukrainians that I've spoken to, but also watching some street interviews, in general, even though obviously everyone wishes Zelensky could have done more to end the war quicker, in general, everybody agrees that there was no one else better than him to lead the war now.
I thought many times that if was Poroshenko was instead of him, he wouldn't have done even half of what Zelensky did. He thought about his country, his people, and that we need that, and we need him. And I think that he's doing everything he can. And it's not just him. We have a parliament, we have a lot of people, so it's not just him controlling everything. We are not Russia. So we have democracy, it works differently. It's not just Zelensky decided on everything.
So this is going to be a bit of a difficult question, but I was thinking in this scenario, if Zelensky had run away during the first few days of war and Russia installed some puppet pro-Russian president, the war never would have even really started. It would have been a few days of fighting, and then maybe it would have ended. And in this situation, first off, there wouldn't have been all the suffering for the last 2 years. It would have been just like a quick transition, but
it wouldn't be a transition. There would be no Ukraine.
So
Ukraine
it would be a very
have
different
existed.
Ukraine, yeah. So
no, it just wouldn't be Ukraine. It would be another Russia or another Belarus or something like that. It wouldn't be Ukraine how we know it, and it wouldn't be the country we want to live in. Like Russia does. So no free speech, no freedom. They're just slaves, and they just listen to what government says. Here we believe that government works for us. Government has to protect our interests and to do what we want it to do.
So that's a very good point, because some of the people in the West or in Russia, they claim that Ukraine is completely controlled by the West, by the U.S., and even the Maidan revolution was the CIA operative, where they tricked you.
So dumb. It wasn't even the first revolution. We just got independence. Russia didn't want that, and we had to protest. And they fought for their rights. And Russia tried even impose its constitution, which limited our rights and everything. And people just didn't let it happen.
Можна горячі води? Дякую.
Yanukovych tried to rig elections, but people went on the streets.
And it's crazy for me because first I think it's like insulting that people think that Ukrainians are so easily manipulated that the CIA can make some campaign to trick you, the whole country of 40 million people, to vote for the president that they want. Like, it's like saying that Ukrainians have no mind of their own, or no feelings of, no wants of their own.
They just think that we are similar to Russians. But if you look at our histories, you see that we are completely different nations, and even mindsets are different. We value different things. They want just stability, and wherever it is, it can be bad, it can be poverty, it can be abuse, like domestic. And they're okay with that because it's stability. And we don't want that. We wanted Europe, and we said that in 2004 on Orange Revolution, and we didn't change our minds. And Yanukovych just lied to us in 2010, and he lied about everything. And we just didn't let it happen. So
a lot of people don't realize that one of the big reasons why Ukraine doesn't want to be part of Russia and doesn't want to be under Russian control is, in the past, the reason why there was so much corruption in Ukraine was because of Russia. And the Russian-backed politicians. And that's what they're trying to get rid of now. And it's crazy that a lot of Americans or people in the West, they're trying to say that the West is wasting Ukrainian lives by supporting Ukraine, and if we stop funding Ukraine and stop sending weapons, that Ukraine will stop fighting, and then therefore it will save lives.
we started fighting actually before all that aid. I remember when Germany started helping us, they gave us helmets.
And that's it.
They gave us helmets, and when someone attacks you, there's a huge adrenaline rush, and even I was thinking about grabbing weapons, because we know that if we stay home, we will just die. They will just break into our homes and can rape, kill, or do anything. And if you have weapons and we start fight back, we have the chance to survive. And if we do nothing, we have no chance to survive. So stop supporting Ukraine means just to agree, just to let Russia destroy it.
If the West stopped supporting Ukraine, would Ukraine stop fighting?
No, never. And we said it a lot of times. We would lose much more lives.
All right, took a little break, and I just sent her some questions. So I just sent you a couple questions from the viewers. Let's try to. Can you show it to me? Actually, are you looking at the question? Okay. So I'll try to read this for you guys. So I've seen on social media that people seem to enjoy ordinary Russians encountering difficulties from sanctions. Do you think that representative of Ukrainian sentiment towards Russians now, this hateful towards... Okay, hold on. So guys, you might be wondering why my audio sounds so good, and it's because I got a new mic. This is by Fulon X5. I did a lot of research, and this was the company I really wanted, so I reached out to them and I asked if they can send me a mic. And I'm so happy they did, because look at this. I wanted something that is small and compact that I can carry around. That's a bonus. This case is actually the charging case as well, USB-C, and it fits pretty much everything. The only thing that doesn't fit in here is these are the two little wind socks that it comes with. I wish that somehow I could make it fit in the same box, but it doesn't close if I do, so. It's a bit unfortunate, but these are really, really handy, especially when you see me and Victoria in the rain. And what's cool is these little microphones get transmitted through this, and this connects to my phone through Lightning. I don't have to press any buttons. Everything's already on, and this connects straight into here. And then this should be my new mic, so I should be talking through here now. So if I pull this away from me, you should be able to hear the difference of that versus here. Windscreen, screws on, it's a little magnet. And what's cool is I can either clip it like so, or what's really cool, there's a magnet that comes with it. I can put it through my shirt, and now I have a magnet. So guys, as you can see, and most importantly here, these work really well and super easy to use. I like that. I never even have to turn them on and off. I can just close the case and it's done. I can just plug it in and it's connected. I don't have to mess with Bluetooth or anything. Highly recommended. Fulon X5. I'll have the links for you to order it below. Again, this is not a sponsored post, but they did send this to me because I asked for it. This is the one I actually wanted. By the way, this is the nice box it comes in. And it comes with a bunch of other accessories and stuff too, so. Okay, so I think the question is trying to ask, is it fair that that everyday Russians who maybe or nothing to do with the war are suffering?
They can not have anything to the war because when they live there, they support their economy. So they passively support the war easy way.
So they can victimize themselves. Say that they suffer just living their lives, but it's not true. They don't do anything to stop it. Some people do, like partisans. They're behind those fires. Ammo depots in Russia, railway stations, some facilities. They also can give information to our forces. Those people really oppose the war, and I can say they're against the war. But it's just a small percentage of people that.
So unfortunately, I think
to avoid protests.
Most Russians are just waiting and just kind of purposely avoiding any news or any information about the war, just because they're just thinking, okay, as long as it's not affecting me personally,
Yes.
like it'll
Yes.
end one day and it's nothing to do with me.
Yes.
I'll ask you this: if the situation was reversed, so let's say it wasn't Russia that invaded Ukraine. Let's say it was Ukraine who invaded Russia, or
Yes.
maybe to make it more realistic, Ukraine invaded Moldova. Okay, let's say in this scenario where we decided to do the exact same thing Russia has done, but to Moldova. We went into their land, we occupied it, we started killing people and torturing and raping people.
I can't even imagine in my imagination that Ukraine could start killing civilians.
But if that happened,
Yeah.
do you think that Ukrainian civilians would do a mass protest,
Of course.
even if there's a risk of them being put in jail, even if the
course.
same rules apply?
We have gone through that. Our revolution of dignity,
Yeah.
they started killing people there. And even in Donetsk, people protested until the end. And Russia just sent all their forces, and they're not even denying it now. A lot of people confess to it because they see it as achievement.
Yeah. And actually, a lot of people don't realize this, but Maidan Revolution, or as people call it, Maidan, it was a very small protest in the beginning, just students. And it wasn't until the pro-Russian government, Yanukovych, is a kind of, what do you call the secret army? They started killing people.
Berkut.
On the 30th of November 2013, in the early hours of the morning, a violent crackdown on a mainly student rally by Berkut riot police transformed the protests from a pro-European demonstration into a broad-based anti-government movement. The bloody event was caught on camera and spread across social media, angering Ukrainians, young and old, throughout the country.
Yeah, the
It consisted mostly of Russian special forces, and they actually are among those who invaded Ukraine in 2014 and 2022. It's the same Berkut. And yes, we separate actually those terms. Like Euromaidan was just a peaceful action. Like we just demanded to be heard, and we demanded to change our course to Europe. We didn't even demand Yanukovych to be gone as long as he can do what we asked.
And what he promised when he was
He
elected.
actually promised that. How is everyday life in Kyiv now? Is there a reduction in the number of air attacks, or are people just completely used to it? I think it has to be used to it now. How are people preparing for winter? There are more air raid alerts.
It just started again, like because winter is coming. There was a lot in May when I arrived.
It's just to make our economy suffer and our people, because it disrupts our days. They can last for 2 to 3 hours, and people just can't work. Shelters can work, and some gyms, thank God.
In the basement. Watch, my gym kicks us out.
Really?
Every time there's an air raid, they make us leave.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I finally found the gym that let us stay.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, when we didn't have that many air raid alerts and something started, half of the class just could leave. No, people don't do that.
Yeah.
They even see like ballistic threat, and people just like, okay.
But unfortunately,
it's not that they're used to it. We just know that we can't escape.
Yeah, done. It's been a fun chat.
What?
I think it's been fun chat. Thanks for watching, guys. Part 2 will be coming soon, but if you want to watch the entire 1.5 hour unedited version, that is live in the channel members area right now. You can join as a channel member, support the channel, and get access to the entire 1.5 hour interview with Victoria.